would you be willing to shoot a hardened criminal in the back in order to offset the chance that some lawyer...
No.
Then, for the love of God, don't be a detective.
A film noir, or a classic film noir, is a very difficult thing to categorize. It can be lots of different things, but visually, the classic, if you can call it that, film noir uses light and shadow to create certain moods. When I think of a noir, I think of Chinatown with Nicholson, Casablanca with Bogart, but you can also include Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, 8mm, Blade Runner, and Sin City in that particular category. But when Curtis Hanson set out to make L.A Confidential, he distinctly wanted his noir to be brighter and to reflect the L.A sunshine. So has the sun actually shined on this movie? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie L.A Confidential.
What are you guys doing here?
Oh, we were just in the neighborhood.
L.A Confidential is a movie based on the novel written by James Ellroy, a part of the L.A Quartet series of books. The director of this movie, Curtis Hanson, loved the book series and hired Brian Helgeland to help him adapt this into a screenplay. The movie begins with introducing us to the three main characters. Bud White, a hot-headed cop that is motivated by justice at all costs. Ed Axley, a political savvy individual who sticks to the truth at all costs. And Jack Vincennes, a detective that does everything to be famous or to be around famous people.
When I walk out, I'll stop right here. You get the movie premiere in the background.
All this introduction is made during one night on Christmas Eve. White encounters a high-class escort who looks like a famous Hollywood actress and tries to help her with her pimp. When he gets back into the station, there's an altercation between some cops and some prisoners, and because of that altercation, the police chief wants heads to roll.
Jack's the technical advisor on Badge of Honor. He lives for it. That's the way to get to him.
Axley, who gives up some names, managed to promote himself to the job of detective and make himself an enemy of Bud White and Jack Vincennes because he costs White's partner's job and Jack's cushy gig as a Hollywood consultant.
I'm snitching 3 old-timers who'll be fishing in Oregon this time next week. Next to you, I'm clean.
The story kicks into gear when Axley is called to investigate a murder at the Night Owl Cafe and discover amongst the bodies White's former partner and a high-class escort. The police get tipped off on 3 black men that were seen running away from the premises, and Axley and Vincennes pick up the trail and make the arrest.
Gotta put your hands behind you! Ah!
So, how's it feel getting out of the office?
Axley interrogates them, and that leads him to a house where a young girl is held captive. The prisoners escape the prison, and when they are found, they get killed during a shootout, and the case of the Night Owl is closed. But there are so many loose ends.
Well, you think it means getting your picture in the paper? Why don't you go after criminals for a change instead of cops?
Stensland got what he deserved, and so will you.
Bud White follows up on the high-class prostitute angle, which leads him down a dark path into the arms of one of those girls named Lynn Brackett. Meanwhile, Axley follows up on a different angle, and Vincennes on a different angle altogether. The 3 men uncover something that was under the surface and seeks out to undermine their very own core principles.
Now, I sense you're on your best behavior, but that's all I'm going to tell you. If you persist, I'll meet you with my attorney.
If you've never seen this movie before and wonder how come 2 Australians made it into this movie, it's very simple. The director Hanson wanted 2 actors in the 2 main roles that the audience wouldn't be able to recognize, and of course infer from that the plot twist in the movie and the surprise ending. He watched an Australian movie called Romper Stomper about some skinheads and knew Crowe could bring his intensity. Crowe worked in America before on a movie called The Quick and the Dead, and he had a great American accent. Guy Pearce just had a great audition.
You're different, Officer White. You're the first man in 5 years who didn't tell me I look like Veronica Lake inside of a minute.
You look better than Veronica Lake.
The writer of the books, James Elroy, and a few of the executives at Warner Brothers were apprehensive about the two, but as soon as they saw the first screening, they knew Henson was right. Every single actor that had a speaking role in this movie brought it all to the table. Crowe embodies Bud White and his viciousness and lack of morals when it comes to doing everything possible in the name of the law, breaking all the rules in order to dispense his true justice without the pesky rights that everyone is supposed to hold up.
You'll be out in a year and a half. I'll get cozy with your parole officer. You touch her again, I'll have you violated on a kitty raper beef.
This is actually the second time I've seen Guy Pearce in a movie because I loved Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. In this role, he completely transformed into something else. Axley is a do-gooder, a straight, clean guy who walks a very narrow line. However, things around him are corrupt and decayed, and he skirts that line almost to the end.
Shift the guilt to men whose pensions are secured. Force them to retire. But somebody has to swing.
Kevin Spacey did such a great job with the Jack Vincennes character. At first, you want to punch him, but as soon as the movie progresses, he has the fullest redemption arc from bad to good, and he realized the error of his ways and comes around and does the right thing.
You help me with mine, I'll help you with yours. Deal? Deal.
Apart from the trio, I can highlight James Cromwell playing the police captain, Kim Basinger as Lynn Bracken, and Danny DeVito, who plays an editor of a Hollywood news rag that helps Jack and himself to stay in the Hollywood spotlight and to keep his underground connection.
Jackie, it's Christmas.
No, it's not. It's felony possession of marijuana.
L.A Confidential is classified as a neo-noir film. To me, it's a detective story set in a post-World War II era in L.A., where the setting of the story and the look of the movie is a big influence on the maker of the film. Curtis Hanson really wanted the town of L.A. to be highlighted. He purposefully found the locations that preserved the time period of the movie. He and Brian Helgeland changed the original book story and gave us an adaptation worthy of the book, but has changes in it to make it more cinematic and to make the characters more lovable. One major change is the character of Bud White, who was very unlikable in the story and much more of a dumb brute. In the movie, he is much smarter, but keeps his ruthlessness and diverts it into something positive.
Miss Bracken, don't ever try to bribe me or threaten me, or I'll have you and Patchett and shit up to your ears.
There were more things that were moved around in terms of where they are in the book and where they are in the movie, like a certain shootout that happens much later in the movie compared to the book, but it all makes sense why it is there. You don't have to read the book to understand everything you need to know about the characters, the settings, and the storyline in the movie. A sign of a great adaptation.
I'm talking about the gas chamber, and you haven't even asked me what this is about. You got a big guilty sign around your neck.
I highly recommend you watch this movie. It will surprise you with a plot twist if you let it happen and don't think about it constantly. It's not as straightforward as you think, and besides that, you can enjoy the ambiguity of the characters as they wrestle between their good side and their bad side. If you've come so far in this video, I'll ask you one thing. Tell me in the comments section when exactly you figured it all out. No need to spoil it for anybody else, but if you want to, just leave me a timestamp at the point of the movie where you got it. And if you want to explore further into the world of L.A Confidential, check out the show we did going deep dive into the movie with our special guest, Paulie from Latino Slant.
Exley made his play and got what he wanted. As a politician, he exceeds even myself. The department needs smart men like Exley.
I thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.